Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is all set and ready to introduce many different twists and turns that will lead to saga-wide implications within the Skywalker saga by Disney and Lucasfilm, as well as director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to answer many of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, as well as creating brand new questions at the very beginning of this film that's going to be answered at the very end of Episode 9. That's really going to reshape the entire Star Wars franchise and, of course, the Skywalker saga itself, which really is a big deal for the Star Wars community, and it all depends on how everything is going to be executed on the big screen. Now, with that being said, we do know that J.J. Abrams has a plan in order to introduce new Star Wars lore. And of course, now these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film. And when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Rey is said to be traveling into the Lost City, where she is said to be in search of ancient Jedi and Sith lore, where it's explained that she eventually comes across a place called the Land of Warriors. Within the Land of Warriors, it's explained that Rey begins to search for clues related to the ancient Jedi that could allow her to discover many secrets of the past, where one of the sequences is said to involve Rey coming across a large statue of Ezra Bridger that stands around 50 feet high. It's explained that the Ezra Bridger statue is said to hold many secrets within that will help Rey during her adventure, that she opens up a segment of the Ezra Bridger structure and discovers many relics that he left behind many years ago. One of which being his personal holocron, his Jedi holocron that is shaped like a blue cube, where once Rey touches it, it's explained that Rey begins to hear the voice of Ezra Bridger, as she is said to listen in to some of Ezra's thoughts about the Jedi. It's explained that this is where Rey hears Ezra's saying the lines of dialogue related to the phrases of the ancient Jedi Code that is described to help Rey find her way to the Prime Jedi Temple, who was the first of the Jedi Order as we know it. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this is a prime example of why J.J. Abrams wants to add in new Star Wars lore. Now, this also lines directly up with how J.J. Abrams, was in a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni while he was writing the script of Episode 9, and also while he was shooting the movie, he was also talking to Dave Filoni on and off throughout the actual production of the film. And now we can see why there are going to be connections to Star Wars Rebels, and even the Clone Wars at that. And this is a great example of Star Wars Rebels holding a connection to that of the Rise of Skywalker. Now, I want to go over this scene that involves Rey coming across the Ezra Bridger statue. Now, in case you guys are just tuning in right now, this is a place called the Land of Warriors, based within the Lost City. The Lost City is said to be an underground Jedi ruins site underneath the surface of an unknown world that we are currently unaware of the name, so we'll have to find that out as we go throughout the weeks until release. And the thing about this, though, is that Rey eventually comes across a Jedi holocron that once belonged to Ezra Bridger. Now, this holocron allows Rey to hear the voice of Ezra talking about the ancient Jedi Code and even leading her over to the Prime Jedi Temple. Now, the Prime Jedi, we got a little glimpse of this character in The Last Jedi Visual Dictionary and in the actual movie. I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at that film, even those of you, who dislike the movie. In that actual first Jedi Temple location, you can see the first Jedi, or should I say the Prime Jedi, Mosaic, who was the first of the Order. So not necessarily the first Jedi, but actually the first of the Jedi Order, if that makes sense. So there were Jedi prior to the Jedi Order was actually established, but this was the first Jedi to be a part of the Order. So that's a very interesting thing, the fact that Ezra Bridger found out about this and even inserted some of his thoughts into his holocron that Rey now comes across that leads her over to this specific location, where she's going to actually communicate with the Force ghosts of the past. Now, what's really inspiring about this by J.J. Abrams is that you can already see that he's trying very hard in order to introduce the Star Wars lore that the hardcore fans love and enjoy. In the expanded universe in the 1990s and early 2000s, holocrons were a big thing. A lot of fans knew about it, and you can see that Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to make holocrons just as familiar to the audience as lightsabers and kyber crystals. In fact, that's exactly why we're seeing a lot of kyber crystals in the current Star Wars films, such as Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and of course, The Last Jedi as an example. So, with that being said, the Lost City sounds like it really is going to be a vital part of Rey's character development because she's going to learn more about the Jedi and the Sith as well as the Force in general, and that's going to teach her exactly what the rights and wrongs are of developing a new Jedi Order or a new order at that. You know, that's going to be one of the more, I guess, difficult decisions by JJ is exactly how Rey is going to create a new order in the Skywalker saga and beyond. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.